Okay, I'm going to, as promised, make one of my videos on the topic or subject. Like I said in my original thank you video, I couldn't cover in one video. And I think we'll start right from the beginning of, because it's directly related to how I communicate to all the people out there on the internet through YouTube and the internet itself. I'm going to title this video Computers and How Technology Has Changed Our Lives. Because if you look at it historically, it all kind of started with the printing press. You went from where you were publishing thoughts and ideas on a sheet of paper that can be distributed widely. You know, printing press, then you had telegraph, telephone, and in the 20s you had radio, which was a technological advancement that allowed people all over to communicate or listen or hear information, news, what was going on. You could be out in the middle of nowhere. If you had a radio set, you could listen to a news broadcast and figure out what's going on in the world. So then you had radio. Then after World War II, you had TV, which is radio with pictures. TV, cable TV, satellite TV, which I knew a guy that had one of them dishes. It looks like an early warning defense system, but he can get TV channels from all over the world now. And then came home computers and then the internet. And that was the big one. Computers were used since the 30s and 40s, and usually they were gigantic machines that filled whole rooms and did mathematical computations for gunnery and things like that. You know, something where you had to do it quickly, make your calculations, and get them done. So basically, computers were actually used to store information and stuff for the military and the government for years. If you look at them, the old movies, them giant IBM things with reels of magnetic tape that make all this noise. People really didn't need a home computer. And in the 80s, businesses and that started using them more like the DMV, government agencies, to where you didn't have all this filing. You entered the data in the computer and stored it on little disks, which was a lot better than a huge stack of papers. And that basically that's what they're used for, processing information, storing information. Well, then the internet, I guess, was something the military used in a defense system to communicate between its computers. And then by the 90s, the home PC, or the home computer, and then the internet hit a big thing. And I remember that's about when my wife insisted we get a computer, get online, get on the internet, get email, and all this other stuff, because you needed it. It come to the point where when I was going to apply for a supervisor's job, one of the questions was, are you familiar with Windows? Do you know how to, operate a computer and store information? Because all your inspection sheets and production reports and everything had to start being entered into a computer for the company. There was no more filling out forms like you did in the old days. That was gone. So basically, just about every single person had to know how at least to operate one, going to the public library and getting online, on a computer. Same thing now, looking for a job. You do not go to places and hand them resumes and fill out applications. I'd say 90% of it. There was one or two small shops that I did that when I went and visited here recently, but like 98% of it, I'm on a computer, I'm filing shit. Even when I had to go to the VA for a checkup, I did it all on a computer, sent it in. They said, we'll get back to you 5 days, give you your appointment date, come down for your physical. So they're a necessary part of life now. I still like my laptop, or not my laptop, my desktop. I love it. I sit at my desk, do all my things. And there are some things that I can do on the desktop or a laptop, if you got it. other than on the phone, you know. And I remember when it all was back in the 90s, guys bragging, well, I got this, I got a Pentium 2 or whatever, and all this other stuff. And everybody used to be trying to outdo each other, and they changed computers rapidly. And back then, they were about $3,000, $2,000. You know, and people were basically gaming. Okay, I got onto it because 35 years ago, we'll stick with the guns. All right, say somebody said, hey, you know where I can get a part for this old military rifle? And I would have to sit down and go through a catalog, Gun Parts Corporation, and there were several other places that advertised in Shotgun News. So you had to buy a publication, go through this and find where somebody says, hey, I have gun parts. And then you would sit down with pen and paper, write this guy a letter and say, hey, look, this is what I have, these are the parts I need, do you have them in stock? Put it in an envelope, put it in the mail. The U.S. Postal Service delivered a letter, the guy reads the letter, goes through his inventory, and usually what they would do is right on the margin, you left them space. I have this screw, I have this barrel band, and this is what I need to charge. And then, you know, get back to me. And then postage, if you want all of these, the postage would be, and they'd send you the letter back. Then you go get a money order or check, put it in a letter, send it back to them, and then you'd get the part. So you're looking at about a month and a half turnaround, okay? I had a shotgun break in 870 pump shotgun, or I'm sorry, I had the firing pin break in an 870 pump shotgun. I got home from the shoot that day, went online, Brownells, found the part, ordered it, paid with a credit card, which most people didn't have back then. It was something new in the 80s. I didn't have one until I was almost 30 years old. And all that, and by Wednesday or Thursday, the part was there, took the bolt apart, put the new part in, I was good to go. You know, 3 days. Not a month and a half turnaround. So it's changed. And the internet and that, like now, email, I mean, I can talk to people all around the globe. What's neat is I sit there, send them an email, and they get it. They're by the computer or their phone or whatever. They can answer me in a matter of minutes. I can talk to somebody on the other side of the planet or the other side of the United States and get a response from them, you know, which is pretty cool. And it's not costing me any extra. Like it used to be on the phone, long distance, you get charged, whatever. It's all in my monthly bill for internet service and everything. There's, you know, so in a way it's cool, you know, and I get to talk to everybody here. Now how that has changed, like the guns, the value of guns, and the weird thing, the backlash of it, the strange thing that's not good, is people have a tendency for this panicking. Like when Obama was in office, I used to do the reports on the gun shows, the ammo shortages, and all this other stuff. It's like through the commercialization and TV and the internet, everyone's conditioned to panic. There's a sense of mistrust. Okay, and this is what ties in to YouTube, the media, everything about guns. Everyone's afraid that they're going to take the guns, take the ammunition, because one guy said, well, if we can't pass a law to outlaw guns, then we'll do something to restrict ammunition, pass laws to do that, and in that way they can have all the guns they want, but if they don't have no ammo, then, you know, they're dead in the water. Okay, which is another plan. All right. So what happened during this period is not only was there a huge amount of guns being sold, but also, I didn't believe it, I did sell reload sold ammunition, and there were people that would go to the local Gander Mountain, take a shopping cart, and just go in there Thursday morning. They told me there used to be a line when that place would open like at 8 o'clock. There was a line of people out there. And all these people would do is go in with shopping carts, and just pull everything off the shelf of ammunition. The story was the guy went to the bank, got $10,000. He went to every department store or sporting goods store and bought $10,000 worth of ammunition. All calibers, all types. Then he would go around, because now people say, hey, is this true? This rumor to go, shelves are empty. And then he would sell them the ammunition at double the price, and he doubled up his money in a month and a half. He sold that $10,000 worth of ammo for like 20 grand. How true it is, I don't know. Urban legend story, could be. But there was a guy at the flea market that's what he did. He didn't quite mark it up that high, but he would go around and buy cases of ammo, and he'd set up there and sell it to the flea market, at the flea market. And I think he was marking it up a few dollars a box or something, but he sold, people would come there and buy stuff from him all the time, okay? I don't think he was really putting the screws to him and doubling up his money, but he was making a profit on it for sitting there for 2 days on a weekend. And he had everybody would come right to him, because he had a whole back of a SUV just full of stuff, you know. I did it for a while. I sold a lot of reloads. I sold some military ammo. And it's kind of like, and this is where it started, is they call them ammunition hoarders. You know, because there are people saying, well, I have a plastic barrel that's sealed, and I have so much of 38 special, so many thousands of rounds of 9mm, so many thousands of rounds of 45 and 22 and this. If you look on YouTube, and I missed it, is people would say, is ammunition going to be the new currency? Okay, and people would actually go and buy a box of shells every week, like a savings account, and stack this up, waiting for them to outlaw the ammo, and then whatever they had was priceless. Okay, a lot of the surplus stuff, I bought cases and cases of it, and what I used to sell a packet for $5-6, I can now sell for $10 because you cannot get the ammo. Okay. And I don't really sell a lot, but whenever I go to a gun show or something, I make $20-30, and it pays for the overhead of the table, selling some old surplus ammo. But once it's gone, that's it. I don't have any more. It's not a ongoing thing. Okay, it's just surplus of stuff I just didn't shoot up. And also, what's good with the communication and that, that's the good thing, but the bad thing is, like, I call them like fad guns. You'll get a run on guns, like Swiss straight pull rifles. I remember them. They were nothing unusual in the old days. And actually, I remember a gun dealer back in the late 80s. He bought an estate. Okay, somebody passed away. He bought everything. He had ammunition, reloading equipment, a whole gun collection. And in this gun collection was, I believe, a 1911 Swiss straight pull rifle or carbine. I don't remember. And he had it there. It was in nice shape, had a crack in the stock and that, but it was a nice condition gun. And at the time, you were not going to get ammunition for it, period. There was no internet, okay? Like now you can go find it on the internet from a distributor. Back then, you'd have to go through the Shotgun News and this and that. Nobody had that ammo. I never seen any surplus Swiss ammo for sale at a gun show. Maybe if I looked, but I never was looking for it. It was a very odd cartridge. You really wouldn't shoot it, so basically it was a wall hanger. And I remember that guy, he begged me. I went in there, he showed me the gun, goes, look, please buy it. And I think he wanted $125 for it. He goes, please buy it. He goes, this thing's going to just sit here forever. I know you collect all unusual military guns and that, and you know, you have one of these? And I said, no. And I ended up buying it from him. I mean, the guy begged me to buy the gun because he said it would sit in his store forever and a day. Okay? And he figured I'd trade it or something for something else. So I bought the gun. Actually, I hung it on a wall in my father's den. It stayed there for years. Until eventually I went and sold it. But, you know, I just got my money back out of it because it's something just lying around. But that was years ago. It was about 15 years ago. Now, things are worth $400 or $500 now, and people immediately get them from you, no questions asked. Just goes to show you, and what it is, they are a well-built gun. Matter of fact, I built a whole collection of them. That's something I'm going to work on here. But because on the internet, like the K31s, okay, they're one of the most accurate guns there are, Swiss precision, all this other stuff. And now all of a sudden, it becomes a fad gun, and it becomes a gun that everyone has to have because they've seen and heard these reviews on the internet. Actually, one of them, when they were coming in, the rifles, the guy goes, this gun's priced at $300, and look at it, the machining and the quality. This is really a bargain, and it's only going to go up in value. Okay, so he made this statement, and yeah, people are getting for a K31 a nice one, 700, some odd dollars, I mean, and they want them. It's a fad. I gotta have them. Much like the Mosin Nagants. Mosin Nagants come in, they dump these. They made 37 million of them. Okay, $100 gun, an arsenal reconditioned to issue, whatever. They counterboard them, whatever. Tuned them up, checked them out, put them in storage, ready to be issued as a secondary weapon. They had tons of them. They're a good gun. Not saying they're a bad gun, just an old design. And at $100, the time they were hitting the market, I mean, everyone can afford them. People would just buy them because they were $100. Had no idea what the gun was, what caliber it was, not just $100, and you throw a $20 bill out and you got 50, 60 rounds of ammo. Okay. I think I bought 100 rounds of ammo from a guy for $20 or something, or $30, something ridiculous. He just here took his bag. And it was insane. And it was a big thing. I made a ton of videos. Everybody was making videos on YouTube about finishing the stocks, about this, about that. People were making replacement sights. People were making accessories for it. And it was a huge thing in that. But now you don't really hear much about it. People are still interested in them. People still shoot them. But not with the intensity and the frequency and like this whole steamroller madness thing that went on. And then it just fizzles out. Then it's like a done deal, gone. Now you're paying $300-400 for one of those M91s like Heliosphorus had. I've seen them go, they go for $700-800 a piece, $500 a piece. Kind of really don't think they're worth it, but who am I? So the internet and computers have done good in a way, and there is some stuff that isn't very good. Misinformation or the wrong information. And like I said, now everyone's gone to their phones where there are people that don't have a laptop or a desktop, they just have the phone. And the phone's all right, but I can't do everything I can on the phone in the detail. Software's a little bit different for the phone. I don't like it as much. It's convenient, I can check on doctor's appointments and this, but the scheduling and all that other stuff, I still like doing it on a desktop computer. But another good thing, it's like the internet, I got in touch here with some friends from the Navy. It's 35 years since I seen them. Got hooked up with them, got to drive down and talk to them, and that was all because of the internet, Facebook, and being able to find people. Trying to go find telephone directories and call them up on the phone at their old address you remember from 30 years ago ain't that easy no more. But I guess like everything, it's what's good, what's bad. There's a lot of good things from the technology, and there's a lot of bad things that have eliminated or destroyed a lot of things and jobs that don't exist anymore. Travel agents. Now if you want to go anywhere, you just go on your computer and you book the flights, book the hotels, do all that there. That's what a travel agent used to do in the old days. So that kind of put a kibosh on them in general, unless they're doing cruise lines or stuff like that. Receptionist or Like I said, you don't need a person at a desk at a business or office out in the front, because you just seal the doors and tell everybody you communicate with us, call us on the phone, send us an email, or file your application or any paperwork you do on a computer from your home without having to go there. That's the nice thing about it. Like when I went and had to schedule an appointment, I can do it all from the computer. I don't have to call them, don't have to wait, you know, put on hold or nothing. I just schedule all that and they get back to me in a couple days. There's a lot of good and bad with it and how it impacted our life and changed things. You know, like I said, 30 years ago, none of this existed. And now, things that existed 30 years ago are non-existent. You know, you can't go. Cause I know one guy, whenever he pays a bill, he likes going to the office with a phone bill or whatever and talking to a person and asking questions right there at the desk and paying it. Well, you can't do that no more. He's like 63. Every time I go down and I went to the office, it ain't there no more. I said, they don't do that no more. You got to go on the phone. You get on the phone or you get on the computer and do it. I said, you don't go talk to a person, bring your bill down, go explain what this is to me. And he just didn't get it. But, okay, that's my first rant here or whatever. Yeah, it's made a big impact on our life and changed things for the good, and some not so much for the good. You know, kind of makes things go crazy. Like I said, the gun prices just keep going up and up and up, and it's insane. All right, well that's my first thing. Kind of boring, I know, but we'll see how. I got some things I got to do today, and I'll get back and some more videos to make.